Episode 186. Welcome back to Steele Nazz, presented by Hedge Better. Today is Wednesday, April 16th. The NBA playoffs start on Sunday.
Yep.
Actually, they start a little bit for Loserville this week, the play-in games. I want to give a big shout out to the law offices of Patrick J. Foley, 265 Willow Street, Quincy, Mass. If you're looking for legal, proper representation for first-time home buyers, closing down a real estate, whatever it takes, look no further than Patrick J. Foley.
Don't look past them.
Tonight,
Look no further.
Tonight, like I said, we'll get it going with the best team in the world right now, defending champions. But that's over with. On to the Magic in the first round as Orlando defeated the Hawks pretty convincingly last night. We'll see, how long that series goes. Bruins ended a horrible season. Jacobs came out today with some bullshit apology about how he wants to see a championship before his dad dies instead of the fans, which, we'll get into. Just not anything I really could stand for. Keeping it all the front office. You see, I already want to dive into that, but we'll keep going. Pats, thank God this is the last week. We'll talk about the NFL draft. We've been talking about it for probably 2 months now of who they're going to take at 4. It's probably dummied down at this point where it's probably the most clear who we think they're going to take. We'll give you our takes on that. See what I did there. Baseball minute. I mean, we're 20 games in. We can definitely give some overreactions. We can give some what can they improve on in the AL East here when it talking the Sox, the Yanks. Sox are up on the Rays tonight at the Yankees spring training facility.
Yes, the Rays, be welcome.
Shout out ex-intern Andrew as he's at the game tonight in Tampa. Realize how I said X.
Yeah, what is that, $5? Do they serve beer? Are there hot dogs?
I heard they give you Cracker Jacks just to walk in the place.
God bless them.
And then after, we'll give a little UFC 314 recap as we got a lot to talk about. Patty the Batty put on quite the show in a victory over Michael Chandler last week, along with main event. Alexander Volkanovski did his work against Diego Lopez. So, yeah, let's get to it. Steele, how have you been, man? It's been 2 weeks.
Been fantastic. How about you, Adam? Couldn't be better.
What was that drink? The official Masters drink? All right,
An azalea.
An azalea. So shout out to Shanty. They put on a show for Masters Sunday. I like playing golf, but I'm not this diehard golf fan. Steele couldn't even be close to like a PGA fan.
About golf.
But the Sunday afternoon, evening, like at the end of the Masters, is electric TV, whether you like it or not. Rory was up, 3 strokes, blows it, ends up. You guys probably know the whole story. But what's the name of that drink again?
Azalea.
Azalea. So we had
fucking crushing them.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
Azalea drink. So it is lemon juice, grenadine, pineapple juice, and then vodka. That's what we had.
Yeah.
It was perfection. You can serve it with any, I think we had.
They were dangerous. They were reckless.
They were definitely dangerous. Want to give a shout out to that. All the bartenders. Big time Albie at the Shanty there, fucking swinging around.
Shanty rocks.
Basically his kitchen. Big shout out there. All right, so we're going to hop into the NBA playoffs starting this weekend, Easter Sunday. Shout out Easter.
Yeah.
I think as a Celtics defending champion going into a series, I think this is a bad matchup for them. Not saying that they're going to lose or anything, but that's my first take right away of I think they're minus 5,000 to win the series. And will they win the series? Yes, they'll definitely win the series, but I think this team's going to give them a damn run for their money and at least take a game or two. Paulo
Banchero's a great player. He's an absolute star.
I didn't even notice Wagner's averaging 24 points a game this year.
He's the team leader in points. Yeah.
He's a man on a mission. I just seemed like if I was rooting I was hoping we got the Hawks because the Hawks literally have one guy who plays zero defense and Trae Young.
I just kind of booked it that we would play in the Hawks because whenever the Hawks make the playoffs, we play the Hawks.
Yeah.
I feel that way anyway. That's not a stat I've looked up.
No, and they go down the first round.
Yeah, no, and then we pummel the Hawks, but they do play us tough sometimes.
Yeah, looking at the scouting report from, the game they won by 25 on the Hawks here. They had Cole Anthony, who played at North Carolina. He had 26 points off the bench. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had a few good years with the Lakers. That's another guy to look out for. Wendell Carter Jr. He came in a trade, right? I believe he came in a trade. Another Duke Blue Devil, you can't go facing
wrong.
up against Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. But the Garden's going to be rocking. Kristaps Porzingis, knock on wood, wherever it is probably the healthiest he's been as a Celtic. Probably has played his best basketball in his NBA career. I think the question has been, injury-wise, is Jaylen Brown. Obviously, his knee isn't at 100%, but seems like a warrior. I listened to Joe Mazzulla on Part of My Take today. Shout out producer Hank there. But what you got to listen to that. What an interview that was. Cotton 2 coming out. That's like the new town. He's ready.
Ready.
But Jaylen Brown, is going to, but I think he's going to play no matter what. I think he's got a Warriors mentality. Gamer. I think this team has a deeper bench than they did last year, starting with Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornetts, just the matchups when it comes down to it. And you got to look at the other side too. Magic, have injuries too. Jalen Suggs and Moritz Wagner, both out for the season.
Yeah. There's a lot of issues there. And I mean, they're just going to get absolutely outgunned.
That's what I mean. And you come in, I think the Magic have the number one deficiency rating in the league, something like that, whatever the fucking WAR number is. Baseball reference.
Analytics.
Yeah. But the Celtics shoot 50 3-pointers a game, and if 35% go in, you're gonna lose by 25.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's just too much there. I think the Magic are coming together. That's a team that's been very bad for a very long time. Yeah, they're making good progress. I'll give them credit for that, but they are just not a caliber team that's going to compete with the Celtics right now.
Honestly, I think the best thing they could do in this series is make us hate them after the series.
Yeah,
because I think they're a good story in the NBA this year of making the playoffs, getting these guys together. Paolo's clearly the real deal. He's an all-star.
Yeah, he's an absolute star.
He could definitely win them a game or two in this. But I think that should be their ultimate goal, at least in my head, of us hating them after, because they, took a game or two and really, took it to the champs. And, but I don't see them getting past the Celtics here. I have Celtics in 5. I think maybe even Sunday. I think Sunday, maybe there's a lot going on. I think that's the one day where maybe the Magic can steal one from them.
Do we have a time on that game yet?
It's 3:30 Easter Sunday, 4:20.
Matinee. What a day.
Yeah, 4:20.
Get it going.
Yeah.
Have a Sunday. Happy Easter.
Have a Sunday. I got them in 5 here.
Yeah, I have them in 5 as well.
Celtics fared by 14.5 in the first game.
Cover.
Yeah, I think they're going to run them out of the building.
Yeah, 4:20 Easter Sunday. Garden. By $1 billion on Sunday.
The only time I've ever seen the Celtics lose a big game in the last, call a year and a half, is when they beat themselves. They just shoot blanks, or they don't play good transition defense. They don't close out on people. They let too many open shots happen. That's literally the bottom line of the Celtics. If they play their game, they should beat just about anyone in the bracket in the tournament.
Absolutely. Try to control Paolo as much as you can.
Yeah. I think this is a big year. I mean, obviously, whatever it takes to win gets the job done. I'm all for it. But I think this could be a big year where, Jaylen Brown last year, he won the conference MVP, championship MVP, the NBA Finals MVP. I think it's a year where, Tatum takes over. He had a great season. If it wasn't for SGA getting all those free throws, I'd probably name the MVP. I mean, that's a little shade towards SGA. I guess I'm kind of, taking strays there. But
and they just don't want to give it to Jokic again.
Yeah, he's had a phenomenal season. He should be if there was an Eastern Conference MVP, which I know that's kind of for pussies anyway. But shout out him. Like I said, Porzingis, man, he's gonna be a guy they're gonna really rely on, because he really stretches the floor for them. If if the defense on the other side is really attacking, trying to close out threes, he's an easy guy in the paint, or he can just step back. And he did say his normal 3 is at least 7 feet behind the 3-point line. Absolutely ridiculous. But I guess if you're that tall, it's kind of just I picture it as what Kevin Garnett used to do with his mid-range jumpers.
Yeah,
he used to just shoot them down though.
Yeah,
instead of up, he just shoots them down. And that's just due to being 7 foot and really tall.
Yeah, we don't know what it's like, but that's what it looks
Never,
like.
no. Even on stilts, would not feel that
absolutely
same.
not.
Rest of the outlook in the Eastern Conference, some pretty cool matchups. I'm not going to say like these teams have a chance to win it all, but like the Pistons, another, great story with Cade Cunningham, that team this year. They're going up against the Knicks, who are, bona fide chokers. Haven't beat the Celtics once this year. I'm big on Jalen Brunson. I think he's a phenomenal player, great talent. But that could go 7 games.
100%.
I'm still probably taking the Knicks, and I'd probably take them in 7. But it will be a great series. Karl Anthony Towns, probably the deciding factor in that, in the paint, closing down defense like I'm talking about.
Give me Cade.
Cade.
Fuck them. Fuck the Knicks.
Now, how does it go? Is it like just say if the Cavs won and then the Pistons won, would it be they play them because they're the lowest seed left, or does it go like?
No, I think it rearranges by seed.
It rearranges.
I
Okay,
believe so.
We'll see. And then Pacers Bucks should be the prime target of the first round, at least in the Eastern Conference. There's some fucking unbelievable matchups in the Western Conference. But the Pacers, I think they beat the Bucks last season. Bucks don't have Damian Lillard. It's really everyone on Giannis's back and see how far he takes them.
Which could be far.
Yeah,
there's worse fucking scenarios to be.
At least past the first round, and people have been dogging on the Cavs all year, even though they've had the best year in the Eastern Conference. I could see, that being said too, of me talking about the Cavs, I could see either one of those teams upsetting the Cavs. Second round, I don't think anyone really has a chance in the first round against the Cavs. Whoever they play, it's the Hawks, or who's playing tonight? It's the Bulls and some other team I don't care about.
Sure the Bulls are playing,
but the show goes on there. I would probably say that's what I mean. All these are coin flips, in my opinion. I'd probably say the most interesting series is a team like the Houston Rockets. All season have been great under Ime Udoka. The guy is it Segun or like Sagan?
Yeah, Sagan.
Yeah, the center has been really good. They have Fred VanVleet, but they're gonna get Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry in the Golden State Warriors in the first round.
They're starting to put it together. Those two individually.
Well, I watched a little bit last night, and then I woke up to check the score this morning, and they were winning the whole game. And then they came, the other whoever they played, Memphis came back, and then I saw Jimmy Butler had like 10 of the last 15 points, and I think one of them had 37, one of them 38. So if you can hold, I think that's the thing with that team. If you can hold one of those two to minimal numbers, you'll probably beat them. But I'm taking the Warriors in that series. I think just they've been there and done that. I would say 6 games.
Yeah, 6, maybe 7, because I don't care what fucking odds it is, what team you are. Game 7, you don't want to play Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
No.
Those are two dudes who are gamers and can go absolutely nuclear.
And Jimmy Butler has basically set out the whole season for the Heat, got traded to Golden State, and has just been, turning on ever since. I think they won 8 of their first 10 with him.
Yep, they got hot right away.
He had some injuries, and now they're back fully clean. Draymond Green, who I hate, is up for Defensive Player of the Year. Seems like
just go away, dude.
Yeah, it seems like they have things going right
for
them at the right time. The Lakers with JJ Redick, Luka, LeBron, you name it, they have it. They're going up against Anthony Edwards in the Timberwolves. That should be a close series. I do have Lakers in 6, but Anthony Edwards, he did a lot last year in the playoffs till the Western Conference Finals, so I could see him stealing a game or two. I just think the Lakers are deeper when it comes to superstar talent. I mean, that's bottom line in the NBA.
I completely agree, but I think it's Lakers in 7, but I do think it's going to be an all-time series from Anthony Edwards because he's the type of person, he remembers Luka just laughing at him, on the court last year, kicking the shit out of them in the playoffs. So he's going to come out to play. But there's just too much on the Lakers.
So who do they have? Rudy Gobert. They were stacked last year when they had Karl Anthony Towns, but they lost him. I love Dante DiVincenzo. I don't know how his season has been, if he's even healthy.
Villanova scum.
He's a beast.
Hate that guy.
3-point off the bench. He's great.
Hate him.
And then another coin flip series, the Nuggets and the Clippers. As much as you can say, oh, it's Jokic, she's going to take over the series. The Clippers, it was between them and the Warriors. I think they had the last game winner, didn't have to play the play-in, and they won that big game. I think Kawhi's played his best since he won a championship. I think that's
No, the Clippers
That's
are
very
red
true.
hot right now. The Clippers had a great end to the season.
Yeah, James Harden, as much as a playoff bum he is, he's always good for 20, 25 a night. Trying to think of more guys on their roster, but
nah, he's like Paul George though. He subtracts from you.
Yeah,
you stand a worse chance of winning a playoff series, and there's no like math or reason to that. It's just like how it works. He's on your roster, you stand a worse chance that you go down like 20%.
Yeah, that being said, I got Clippers in 7. I think they're taking down the Nugs.
I like Jokic too much. I think he's too powerful for that team.
Yeah, I just think Kawhi is going to surprise some people who haven't watched Clipper games. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the LA Clippers #1 fan, but I've seen some highlights. And
I hope not.
It just seems like he is coming into his own where he was probably not quite where he was in Toronto, but getting, back to that level.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just part of it for him anyway. It's like, dude, you played fucking how many games in the past 3 years? You know what I mean? Like that takes time to get back to where you are. If you can get back to where you are, he's amazing. So it's not shocking he got back there, but it does take time when you take that much time off.
Yeah, either way, all 3 of those Western Conference series are electric.
Yeah,
they should be really good. If Ja Morant gets that 8 seed, I think they're playing either the Kings or the Mavericks. I think they're playing tonight, recording on a Wednesday night. But the Thunder defense, they'd just be too much for them. SGA's played great. I got the Thunder, whoever they would play in 5.
Loser way to go down for Memphis last night, though.
Yeah, big time.
Christ.
Yeah.
Christ. I mean, you can't have whoever was announcing the game was shades of fucking Houston in the March Madness. You can't have someone say that.
No,
you can't go down in a way comparable to that.
All done.
Come on. The Grizzlies are losing to whoever they play.
I think that was an elimination game last night. I think the Warriors knowing, if we lose, playing the Thunder in the first round, that's way tougher than playing the Rockets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if the Warriors got to the Thunder, I would still take the Thunder, but I think it'd be close, man. It would be a 6-7 game series.
Oh, yeah. Betting against Steph Curry is tough.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
They got
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. But that's the NBA playoffs in a nutshell so far.
Can't wait.
So Celtics Sunday at 3:30. We have no hockey to watch, at least locally. We'll be rooting for a couple guys outside of town. But it's Celtics or bust this playoff season.
Yes, unfortunately so.
Yeah.
But it is true.
Leading back to the worst team right now in Boston, I guess. Either them or you would want to say the New England Patriots, but
Sox don't look that good.
That's true. So it's tied for last. Is it tied for last? But the Bruins finished their regular season last night with a loss to the New Jersey Devils, clinching them, I think, the 4th worst spot in the NHL. Yep, officially clinched in front of San Jose. Oh my God, 52 points. Wow. Chicago and Nashville. So they're at 4. They're going to be in the lottery, so we'll see what pick they get. Before we get to, all this slander, I want to give a big shout out to their top player. 43 goals, 63 assists, 106 points in general. I think he finished the season on a 9 or 10 point streak.
Yeah, he was on one of the best streaks. He was on a multi-point game streak that only 2 Bruins have had in history.
Anyone who's sell the team, get rid of, everyone, clean slate, you're an idiot. David Pastrnak is, if not, top 3 goal scorer in hockey right now.
And has been.
And has been. He's putting up, year after year, 35, 40 goals. Seems like he's the one guy, that you keep at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of that for so many years, you could have been well, he's out on the line with fucking Bergeron and Marchand. He did more when he lost those guys this year.
Yeah, no.
He absolutely heated up and scored more goals.
And that's not
playing
how
with bombs.
Yeah, that's not how hockey goes either.
No, absolutely not.
When you don't have your hot line, you usually
yeah, so I got to do this myself, like basketball, and you drop 50 on some suck team and lose by 20. He went out there, played his ass off. Absolutely unreal end to the season for him. Thank fucking God this year's over for the Bruins as a
Thank
whole.
God. Charlie Jacobs came out with a statement today on the Bruins. I'm going to read just a paragraph. It's clear that we have a lot to work to do. No shit. In that the work is already underway despite how difficult it has been to say goodbye to some of the most beloved Bruins this season. These decisions were rooted in the best interests of the future of our franchise. So it was the best thing of our franchise to send Brad Marchand to Florida. No, it was the best thing for Brad Marchand to send him to Florida. That's why, like, this, I just can't, I don't understand, like, the president, like the owners of the Bruins, like they're giving Cam Neely and Don Sweeney another chance where time and time again, they're bragging about goddamn Stanley Cup, finals appearances and best records in the NHL. Don't get me wrong. That stuff is great, but this is a team, this is a city where we're only judged on our championships. That's how I feel, and it's clearly going in another direction. And they said they're going to try to revamp the team this offseason. It seems like they have a lot of work to do, and I just don't think it's going to pan out where this season turns into next season as a playoff team. I just don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, the only way that would be possible, you would need some teams you would need like a little bit of a shift. Some teams that are in the playoffs now to have a down year because we're not going to be like that good.
But I think the point, even this year, this was a year where you could have been pretty shitty and still made the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it's not like an out of question. Like they're not going to, like the Patriots going into last year, like Drake May, whatever, like we're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the Bruins are not in that scenario. But we'll see. Yeah, their letter, the Jacobs family, bunch of assholes.
Fucking scumbags. I think in the last 15 games, they lost 12 of them. They went 3-12 down the stretch.
Like they were a fringe playoff team, and they have like the 4th pick. It was an absolute masterclass in tanking.
It was great tanking. Yeah. If you want to take everything,
like it just was. They've only tanked 1 year in my life, and they were fucking amazing.
You couldn't have paid me to go to a damn game the last half,
which
of the
is
season.
Great because again, Jacobs family, bunch of assholes.
8th in the Atlantic. There's 8 teams in the Atlantic Division, and you came in last.
Yeah,
came in last.
And one of those teams is the Buffalo Sabres.
Ugh. Lost by a point. Almost got you tanked so hard they still beat you by a point.
See, and that's one of the scenarios where it's like no way, shape, or form are we worse than the Buffalo Sabres next year.
No,
I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying like I'm saying it's not. Like there's no way.
No.
Somewhat back. Not all the way back, but somewhat back.
I mean, I don't even know who the UFAs are. I think Morgan Geeky's a UFA. He's going to get paid by someone. He scored close to 30 goals in meaningless hockey. No reason we have to sign him. He did great. Shout out to Morgan Geeky.
Yeah, hell of a
He's going to get his money.
Second best player on our team this year.
Yeah. You have to pride yourself probably on a couple defensemen like Charlie McAvoy, Mason Lowry. Those are guys, that are going to be in your future. And then you have Pasternak, and then who else? It's all these young guys coming up, and we're gonna quickly find out their names quick, like probably next season.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you that I really watched too much Boston Bruins hockey in the last month or so.
Fake fan.
I'm a real fan, but if you're tanking, if you're tanking, I'm not interested in watching that product.
No,
it wasn't good enough product.
No. You've watched some pretty fucking shitty Red Sox teams, man.
but baseball season's different because you can be in it for like 100 games and then after it can all go to shit. Hockey, you can kind of know where the team's kind of going.
Yeah, I think Swayman stepping his game up going to be a huge part of next year too.
I hope so. I hope
tough year.
I hope he wakes up. Obviously, wasn't all on him as we
course not. Yeah,
keep reiterating here on the show.
Need a bounce back.
Yeah. Going into the playoffs, Eastern Conference wise, seems like the Capitals have been the real deal all season. I think they're going to win Jets won the President's Trophy, but they got the best record in the Eastern Conference with their guy there breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. That's big time. I don't think we've mentioned that since he broke it.
No, if we haven't, pure electricity. What a guy.
Yeah, I think it was on the power play in the slot, like
ripped it.
He ripped it nuts. I took him anytime goal that day, and it was the easiest money I'll ever win.
Yeah, that should have been like minus fucking it was 10,000.
They let you get a profit boost on FanDuel, and it was like plus 110. So like that's like good odds.
No, yeah.
I think I'm going to be rooting for them when they won back in, was that 2017 or 2018?
Yeah, 2018.
That was like the most electric non-Bruins hockey, parade or celebration I've ever seen.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
Florida is going to make it as the 3 seed in the Atlantic. Yeah, that looks right. So they're going to take on the Lightning. It's going to be a Florida-only series. That's what it's looking like right now. Toronto is first. When has Toronto ever won the division? I can't remember a time when Toronto won the division.
Maybe back with like Eddie Belfour.
And it looks like, I think it's going to be decided tonight, but if the Canadians win, they are going to play. No, not the Canadians. It's going to be the Senators and the Maple Leafs in the first round. That should be a good first round.
Battle of Ontario.
Battle of Ontario. Montreal's going to play Washington or Columbus, is one of the two. And then you have the Hurricanes and Devils. Always a pretty good series. Other side.
We'll just hate to see the Canadians not get
Yeah.
We'll just hate to see that.
Then again, back on the Bruins, I'm looking through the Eastern Conference, Western Conference here, and he said the coaching was the problem this year. You fired your coach like 20 games in, and he figured it out with another team winning 8 of their last 10 games to get the last wild card spot in the Western Conference in the St. Louis Blues in Montgomery. So I don't know who they're blaming here besides themselves.
No, and and that other coach they fired before that, he had a pretty good year too.
Yeah, he won the fucking cup. You're right. Yeah,
and back in first place.
No, it's just like I can't believe like Cam Neely and like Don Sweeney just getting away with murder. Like they're literally putting this team into the ground. You knew as they
fire all of them.
Yeah,
everyone up there.
They had their chance when they had the best record in the league. They had a top roster. They literally lost. That was a year and a half ago.
No, yeah, they blew it all of that year, which is fair and good for them for blowing it all that year. But it didn't work, and they just have no idea what to do.
But I'm pretty sure they have 3 guys left on the roster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's it,
and not the coach.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, how do you lose that much talent? How do you not keep that much talent that gave so much success that season? I get there's retiring and there's contracts, ages and stuff, but come on, man, you gotta be better than that. Just at the end of the day, they need to turn the new page, and hopefully that new page is something different, because there's a team up in Foxborough right now that seems to be changing turn the page.
Go Caps.
Thank God. Last week of talking about the NFL draft, I just think it's like the most hyped up, unnecessary hype up in like sports, the NFL draft, because it's like, don't get me wrong, people's lives change, but there is like 12-month year like coverage of who's going to be this. Like the number 1 pick in mock drafts 8 months ago probably isn't even the first round anymore. Like the over analyzing is just so much.
Oh yeah, but it's always been that way.
It has. I'm just telling you, I don't agree with. Like, I don't like it at all. I like
not a draft guy.
I'm out on the draft. I'll probably watch. That's what I mean. We're in Loserville right now because I'm probably still gonna watch the draft.
Oh yeah,
but it's only because your team has like the Patriots when they would get the 27th or 30th when they were the team when they had Tom Brady. I wouldn't dare watch the draft. But do you have a top 5 pick? Probably gonna tune in at least the top 10 picks.
Oh yeah, no, I've always liked the draft. Personally.
Yeah,
big draft guy.
So it seems like we're gonna get smoked here. And like Bill Simmons actually dropped a tweet today, which was right up our wheelhouse that I was thinking of. Let's see, it goes.
We have Josh Dobbs. What more do we need?
I have to find this. The 2024 Pats keeping dead man walking Mayo for the final game, winning in Week 18 and blowing the top pick, then firing Mayo after the game. That's going down in history as the single dumbest Boston sports sequence ever. I still cannot believe this happened.
It truly was incredible.
So we're on the draft week. And then also not even mention that tweet. You just got rid of that backup quarterback that played in that game for a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, no, which is
really
crazy.
A 5th round pick. And the explanation that at least the media got was to make the starting quarterback seem more comfortable because it seemed like Joe Milton thought he was better than Drake May. Which, at some point I'd say you cut him loose, but if you're only going to get a 5th round pick, I think you gave a 7th back. So you technically got what you gave up for him. And that was a 6th round pick of selecting him. It's basically just even
and it's
money.
also, like, because it's like even and stuff like that, like you already have him, like, why not kind of accept the challenge a little?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Make Drake May beat him out. Like, not that, like, I think he would, obviously. Like, I think Drake May is better than Joe Milton, but what's wrong with having a guy have some competition?
Yeah, it's an unfair comparison, but it will happen with every Patriots coach.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, if he was the coach, Joe Milton 100% would still be on the team right now.
Yeah, easily.
Embraces the competition. I mean, he benched a quarterback who had a $100 million contract turned out being the best quarterback of all time, but no one knew that in 2000. But long story short, Drake May, Josh Dobbs, the show goes on. He did drop something in his press conference the other day. He said, "I'm looking forward to getting Drake and Josh ready." It was a nice Nickelodeon pun.
Nice.
People thought that he meant Josh McDaniels. Don't get it twisted. He meant
Josh Dobbs.
The future. Josh Dobbs.
Best fucking backup in the league.
I want Drake May to play 17 games, like make the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but the second they have to throw him in there, God forbid something, clear the seats.
Yeah, I hope we're up like 75 and we put in Dobbs, and I'm there and just going fucking crazy.
I'm probably on the field just getting tossed.
Yeah,
I'll pay that fine.
Anarchy.
Pay the fine. All right, so the 3, unless something drastic happens, I know the Giants are traveling to Colorado to see Shedeur Sanders throw in. I think that's tomorrow or something. But it just seems like they said they're good, probably with the quarterback position. It's not mandatory to take something at 3. So the Pats are going to get screwed here, back to what Bill Simmons said of, the single biggest blunder there of losing out on Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. Cam Ward's going to go number 1. I think that's pretty unanimous at this point. So then now you're sitting at, okay, and we've had this conversation before of, are we going to take the biggest need or the best available player there? And you have to kind of think of both situations where, okay, if I'm taking the best possible player, probably looking at like a Jalen Walker from Georgia, a linebacker, where he is on second on the board behind Abdul Carter, or a guy who's been talked about but not necessarily number 4, Tyler Warren from Penn State. Tight end, was an absolute beast. If they got him at 4, personally, I don't think I wouldn't even have a problem with it, because between 4 and like 10, 11 in the draft, I would pick just the best available. What they're ultimately going to do, I think they're going to go with I'd be shocked if Will Campbell from LSU, offensive tackle, wasn't a Patriot, 6'6", 319. Apparently not big arms, but I think he'll be a good Patriot. Seems like he has, that type of tough attitude they're looking for. All these press conferences too with Vrabel and players, they express violence, and it seems like he's kind of a violent player there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially because he is not someone that rose the ranks or anything. Like, he was supposed to be in that spot, and he proved it all year at LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, he proved it with his play. Like, he was he was like the number 1 offensive lineman, and he is still the number 1 offensive lineman.
He's the first tape, college draft tape I ever looked at in the offensive line. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to sit here for like 2 minutes and watch offensive lineman clips.
Highlights, baby.
Call
them highlights.
Yeah, highlights. Just looking on this board, like Ashton Ginty, just bad. That's bad business for the Pats.
No, yeah, that's not us at all. That's a great pick for the Raiders.
Yeah, Mason Graham, if you really like him, but we just got Williams from Philly. You have Christian Barmore coming back.
The moves, exactly what you're saying. The moves we made would make me not like that pick that much.
Agreed.
Those moves don't happen, and we dread, because Mason Graham was an absolute fucking beast in Michigan. I would not hate that man being on the Patriots. But the moves we made are just his position.
Yeah, and
we need to fix many things.
I didn't watch tape on this Missouri guy, Armand Mambo, but they're talking him up too as a top, 10 pick.
He's climbing the ranks since the combine.
I mean, just based on, I just look at height at this point, and Will Campbell is 2 inches on him. I mean, I have no idea. And then the question is how far, non-Patriots wise, how far does Shedeur Sanders go down to? is there a situation where like last season where Atlanta took Michael Penix when they just signed Kirk Cousins? Could that be like a Raiders situation where Geno Smith just signed a big deal with the Raiders, but they might not trust that and bring in Sanders, Tom Brady, who's has a relationship with Sanders and Dion, obviously. Or you have him here in this mock draft that everyone's talking about that he is going to go 9 to the Saints. Derek Carr doesn't seem healthy. He hasn't really been good since he's been on the Saints. That seems like a pretty good spot for him to go to with Chris Olave on the side there and a couple other guys in town, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those franchises, exactly like the Hawks did. Like one of them that's just stupid and thrive on going like 7-10.
Yeah.
I just gotta like jump the gun, maybe even trade up for Shador.
My thing too, and I think it's set in stone. I don't think they're gonna be this stupid, but I like the Browns and the Giants just such at this point, like such dumb franchises. Like if they don't go 2-3, like Hunter Carter, whatever order that goes, like just a bunch of idiots.
Oh yeah.
Especially you get the Giants before they got Russell Wilson. Okay, Sanders makes sense. Like you should probably take him, but they gave him money. They have Jameis Winston as a backup for high backup money.
Yeah,
like makes zero sense for them to take Sanders unless they really like him. But I don't see that.
And that's why I think they're kind of like. That's why you don't see him there anymore. On the mock drafts, I don't think.
Oh no, I think that was a clincher, and that was a shot to the Patriots of being like, damn.
But it would be very Cleveland.
Yeah.
Don't count Cleveland out.
Makes me feel a little bit better that now Cleveland is in the driver's seat to get Travis Hunter because on the like I said, on the mocks, Travis Hunter was going to the Pats, Travis Hunter was going to the Giants, and now I think the Browns have woke up and been like, yeah, we can't miss this guy. Like we have to.
Yeah, no. Which is bad news for him because when the Browns figure that out, it's usually like a bust, and everyone's like, "Ha, you idiots!"
Yeah, so like,
I do not think Travis Hunter is going to be a bust.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just the way it goes for the Cleveland Browns.
It'll just be interesting to see if he can stay healthy and like just playing both ways. Because he came out the other day saying that like he's only playing both ways or he's quitting football or something stupid like that. But
yeah, but that's pre-draft and NFL, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he could do that in the Big 12, whatever it is.
Overall, I would be shocked if Will Campbell wasn't a Patriot. That's like the pick. I don't think it's a consensus for me, but I bet it's a consensus from a lot of people. Is that the direction you're going? What do you think?
What was it?
What direction are you going? Who do you think they're going to take it for?
I think it will be. Like, do you have the ones there? And there's Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Will Campbell. It is whatever one is there.
Yeah,
remaining.
Yeah, no, I think Carter and Hunter.
I'm that's like we just said, based on the other two teams being stupid.
Yeah, no, if Carter does, because they've been talking about like he has off the field issues, but he has like no arrests. I think you can handle that as long as he's not doing something crazy. He doesn't like the practice. Yeah, he's a crazy, unbelievable athlete. I will take him at 4 any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. You think Deion Sanders, his son, likes to practice?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Kid probably had a Lambo at like 15.
No. Isn't that nuts? They're getting their numbers retired Friday. Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders with Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
already.
You know how many athletes have brought attention to Colorado Buffalo basketball?
No, there was
a dude like the Wu-Tang Clan was at a Colorado Buffaloes game.
No, like, some guy
100% deserved.
Some guy on Twitter made a big fuss of like they still haven't let Cordell Stewart into the Colorado Hall of Fame. I'm like, honestly, unreal name drop, but dude, like you should see how much of revenue these two guys alone with obviously the dad has brought in. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's just like College Game Day was there and shit. Like it's fucking.
It will never be. Well, I mean, it will be because he's still there and he'll probably get some guys. But I don't think there'll be anything more electric than that in the University of Colorado history. I'd be surprised.
No, outside they have like a stray back in the day championship. I think though, which might have been more electric for them.
That's wild. I'd be surprised.
Let me see.
Last thing in the night. Oh no, we have a couple more. The Red Sox right now currently they are playing at the Yankee Stadium right now in Tampa.
1990, Colorado Buffaloes.
1990?
National championship, defeated Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl.
Didn't they have a quarterback that was like notable?
I mean, national championship, I'd assume so.
Yeah.
In 1990, Notre Dame was probably fucking sick. But yeah, they got it.
Yeah.
Can't find the team.
Baseball talk-wise, Red Sox lost a series to the White Sox. Tough go. Honestly, really embarrassing. Then they go out first game against the Rays, drop it 16-1. Starting pitching just hasn't been good for this team outside of Garrett Crochet.
Who has looked very good.
Yeah, Walker Buehler honestly pitched pretty good last night, but Tanner Houck I think he's a 9.21 ERA. He hasn't been good.
Yeah, you got to throw him back in the pen.
I give him a couple more, but if he's your 5 starter at some point, I'm going to like it. They have Lucas Giolito and Brian Bayo coming back next week. Sean Newcomb pitched tonight. Shout out Middleborough, but I think his time in the majors is coming to an end pretty quick. Hate to say it. Shout out Sean Newcomb, but
yeah, shout out Get Lost.
It's going away.
It's mean.
Bregman last night, he just had his second daughter today or something, but last night he went 5-for-5 for the first time in his career with 2 homers to lead them over the Rays.
Shout out my fantasy team.
Yeah, they're sitting at 1-0 on the top of the 8th. Tristan Casas now batting like 7th, batting $175. I get we're only 20 games of the season. I've been watching the Clubhouse on Netflix too with the Red Sox. I'm just so out on Tristan Casas. They can trade him for a washing machine. I use that all the time.
Yeah, weren't they trying? Wasn't he like on like in the offseason?
Yeah, and then it didn't happen. And then people are talking, should we put Roman Anthony at first base? Because he is hitting the cover off the ball in AAA. Him and Meyer will be up soon. Story is, I think, a 3rd in the AL in hits right now. So he's such a hot and cold guy. But right now he's hot. Like, so he's actually 0 for 3 tonight. But I think he had 21 hits, which was good enough for 3rd in the AL. Jarren Duran, kind of slow start. Devers had a slow start, but now he's kind of come back to himself. William Abreu has been the best hitter for this team. Just seems like they need more consistency, and I guess you can say that about any team that's somewhat struggling. But if they can get better starts from their starting pitching, I think they're going to have a better chance to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, baseball, like, not just is it early, but even though we're only like 20 games in, we're still like 0 games for the AL East. Yeah. Because every team is like 500. Yeah, no. like the season literally hasn't started.
No, there's so much like trash. Like you guys the Yankees are in first right now at 10-7. I mean.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
And you guys, the Yankees haven't played good baseball, and I don't think really.
Yeah, good pitching. Leadoff hitter Paul Goldschmidt killing it.
Wow. Okay.
348 leadoff.
But the Orioles are sitting at 6-10. Like obviously, I don't think they'll be there.
No, of course not. No, but the one thing is like you could say that about like all of them.
Yeah,
like they could all put it together. Like you would predict not as good as the NL West, but it would be something closer to the NL West.
Except for the Rays, dude. Throw Anton and the Rays in a fucking recycle bin, dude.
Yeah, like, but once you think the Rays are all done and they suck, that's when somehow like their players become good.
They're nothing with the Trop, dude. Dude, the Trop has like the make me like Mike effect on that team. I'm telling you, dude. They're playing in Yankee Stadium in Tampa, Florida right now. They have no chance.
No, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to be where they are. There's no doubt about that. Just looking at like the decaying corpse of Tropicana Field.
Intern Brian from San Diego has been texting me every night after the Padres win. Padres have the best record in the Major League Baseball. They're 15-4. Just a little bit, around the league. But so far, I think the Red Sox just have to get healthy with their starting pitching, and they'll be okay.
And catching it live, Aaron Judge just went deep.
Just went deep? Yankees. Oh, wow. What a live
Let's go!
There. Yeah. Obviously, the Red Sox haven't hit. I think that's probably been another key factor. But, again, bats will come. But if you continue to have bad starting pitching, that shit can linger.
Also, shout out Captain America, Aaron Judge. World Baseball Classic captain.
Yeah, no, Mike Trout approved.
Love that.
Approved.
Love that.
Last of the night, we'll talk about UFC 314.
Great card.
Hell of a card. Patty the Batty Pim put on a fucking show against Michael Chandler. Going into it, I didn't realize how bigger Patty the Batty was than Michael Chandler. And that's just how Chandler does to begin with. He is kind of a smaller guy, but just grinds it out. But Patty the Batty was all over him, finish it off in the third round with a TKO.
Yeah, he got fucking mauled.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I did not see that coming. I thought Patty stood a chance of winning, but I mainly thought Chandler would give him a KO on something.
Yeah, he
didn't come fucking close to that. Like, he got mauled.
Charles Oliveira for the next, and Charles Oliveira had a great run, but he's like now he's gone pretty down, like up and down. Not as bad as who's the guy who's all time. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm not gonna remember his name. But Patty is probably gonna fight him next. I mean this was the first legit fight I think he had, Patty the Batty. So now he's just going to be on a chase to eventually have a title shot. I think that comes if you beat Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely
one or two more
out there, yeah. But I mean, but everyone he's going to fight from here on out, and I mean, Michael Chandler himself is a bad man. Like, it's going to be a bad motherfucker, whoever he fights for the rest of the time he's in the UFC. Like, he's there.
Yeah, you had Trump, you had the boys in the Miami. That's always a good ticket.
Yeah, and different weights, but Colby Covington was talking mad shit to Patty after the fucking thing.
See, Shaq almost fought someone. He almost fought that streamer.
Yeah, I mean, dude, fucking, you fight with Shaquille O'Neal, you're fighting with me. I'm not on your side.
No.
You want to fight Shaq? I'm on Shaq's side.
And then the main card, Volkan beat the brakes off Diego Lopez. Lopez was a human punching bag.
Oh, yeah. No. Volk still has it, people.
Not
washed yet.
I'd be in a legit coma. No, I don't know 100% about UFC either, but someone texted me being like, I'm taking Lopez. It's close. Volkan's lost his last two. I'm like, yeah, he lost his last two against legit two
absolute
great
savages.
up-and-coming guys. He lost to Ilya Topuria, who's
and
probably, at this point, top two in the sport.
And number one is like, if you look up pound for pound, that's probably 1 and 2. Currently.
And then Islam, UFC.com. who's the top 10 pound for pound rankings?
Like John Jones being tossed in there is like the only possibility.
Yeah, so it's Islam, John Jones, Ilya Topuria. Yeah. And then you have Marab. He took down someone good.
Yeah, they're all badasses.
He beat Sean O'Malley, right?
Yeah, you don't get on that list without like being a fucking savage. Like everyone on that one is an absolute savage.
Volkan's now 9th, moving his way up.
And he was one on that list at one time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Be interesting to see how far Patty the Batty can go up, but looking forward to UFC's here on out. I feel like that's the first good card we've had in a while.
Yeah, first good card in a while. I mean, Pereira Ankalaev was definitely a letdown.
Yeah,
as a Pereira fan as well.
Yeah,
but props to Ankalaev. I mean, fucking Pereira looked as unbeatable as fucking another human being as like.
I know that. I just picture that guy eating like someone's soul.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like that's.
He's a bad fucking.
You
man.
could say beat up that guy. That's fucking amazing. All the power to you.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. I got the shirt on tonight. Law offices of Patrick J. Foley.
BJF.
Located at 265 Willard Street, Quincy, Massachusetts. If you're looking for proper legal representation for first-time home buyers or just buying a home around the area, look no further for law advice for real estate than Patrick J. Foley. They're at 265 Willard Street again in Quincy, Massachusetts. I want to give a big shout out to Hedge Better. Also, I didn't even touch it. Saw Magic Mike get a clean base hit yesterday in slow pitch softball. I have to give a big shout out there. I asked what because he was switching with someone else playing catcher, and I asked what he was on the depth chart. He's like, "What do you think I am?" I said probably number 2, and he said, "I don't know." I asked the other guy, and he said he definitely cares more than I do, and I was just like, I agree with that.
Yeah,
so
probably.
Shout out Magic. He said he's bowling too. He's getting his
champs here.
He's getting his numbers up. He said he's looking forward to getting back in the studio when he gets the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to when he comes back.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right, episode 186 in the books. We'll see you next time. Hopefully the Patriots don't blow this pick.
Yep. Need it.